Yo, what's going on, guys? We're back, and today we got a brand new video back on that stimulus topic. There's been some news, some little breaking things going on in stimulus stuff. Talks from the White House, the economist of the White House, his kind of view on this, and the Federal Reserve guy. We've seen him come out talking heavily about pretty much doing whatever it takes to make sure that companies and businesses are all right through this time and get through this all right, and then to also help people get through it, and expressing kind of his want to get more stimulus out and wanting Congress to act just like he's going to act in return to this, as basically like printing money no matter what and just getting people through this. But we do have a pretty big stimulus bill to talk about here. But this is less a bill, more kind of like breaking down the discussion between the economist in the White House and, you know, kind of points off what he said and things like that. So I have a couple of like a list of things here to go over from what he's said. So one is a big thing that is in their mind is keeping people on payroll. That's what like the PPP is for, the Paycheck Protection Program. Making sure that companies can get into this program of forgivable loans and make sure they keep people on payroll, keep people working, give people jobs and things like that. And then a big takeaway from this was that it said the president is keen on a payroll tax holiday for workers. So a lot of people might not even know, like the back end of a business, your employer pays a payroll tax to employ you. One that they pay that is obviously passed on to you in terms of like getting paid less, taxes being taken out, and that would equate to workers or employees getting paid more, because obviously your employer would no longer need to pay that. That's what the holiday would be, and that return would be about 7.5% to 15% is the payroll tax. So that could equate to somewhere between a 7.5% to 15% increase in your paycheck for giving the companies a breaks on these taxes, and then having them pass that break down along to obviously the employee that they're employing. That would be, obviously, in my opinion, would be a huge thing to do right now to help people who are working get money, because right now it's more valuable or more you can make more money being unemployed than you can being employed. I just think that's completely backwards, and I don't think we should give that value. I understand helping people, getting people through this, but let's help people get back to work and help people that have been working, so that you can make more money working than just sitting at home. Just my 2 cents on that. But another big point that they made, and I think a lot of people might have heard, is they waited a long time on obviously replenishing that small business fund and the PPP and doing those types of funding. They ran out of funding and then waited quite a bit of time before they did it. But there's a point that he said is that we waited too long when the last tranche ran out, and we don't want to make the mistake again. Basically saying that they don't want the small business funding and the PPP program to be drained and then have to take a couple weeks to decide whether or not to refund those programs. They want to basically, once they start getting low, get them refunded right away instead of letting them run out and allow them to take time to have to make a decision to refund or not, which could make a big difference in businesses either holding employees, laying employees off, or letting employees go, as well as just their business themselves maybe going under, with obviously not making a lot of money right now being open and stuff. The next point it says we'd like to see some significant tax deductions for businesses, entertainment, and going to sporting events. Trying to get people to work and looking for new ways to give people write-offs, especially related to COVID. So they want to give businesses kind of incentives to get open and get going, try and make people go out and spend money, and maybe make that a write-off some way so you don't have to pay taxes on it. Maybe a sporting ticket, if you go and do that, that could be a write-off. I mean, I don't know exactly how this would work or how they're like phrasing this type of thing, but it sounds like that would be their way of going, like making like sporting tickets write-offs or entertainment, making the business be able to write off expenses of stuff like that, and kind of getting people to go to work is a big thing. They said get people to work and look for ways to give people and businesses these write-offs, especially related to the illness going around. So I think that could be a big incentive to try and get people going again. You know, get stuff rolling, offer people tax deductions. A lot of this stuff would probably be for back-end businesses. You know, their back end on paying taxes and stuff. But you know, them saving money relates to you saving money, not having to pay, you know, the full top dollar price. Whereas if they're saving money on taxes and stuff and can do write-offs, you might see some passed down savings to consumers. And a big thing for that is, like, they want to protect these businesses from opening and, you know, having a breakout or something happen and then people suing that business. They don't want that to happen, so they're trying to look for ways to protect businesses to reopen and do all that stuff. But next, they're talking about the economic growth incentives. So this is their main focus for phase 4. The easiest way to, you know, grow the economy or get economic growth is the stimulus checks. I think a lot of people have seen it. You know, once we saw it before the stimulus checks were hitting, things were real slow. If you were working in retail or different like sectors, if you were still going to work, I think we all saw it being super slow, not really people coming to buy things. And then as soon as that check hit, it's been lights out, busy, people are spending money, they're going to do stuff. So that's an easy way to stimulate the economy, is the stimulus checks. And I think with stimulus checks, compared to like the tax breaks where you get, like, let's say you get 10% increase in your paycheck because of tax breaks for businesses that they give and stuff, you're still working for that, so chances of you going and spending that kind of slimmer, right? You're not going to work for that money and then just go and blow it, or most people wouldn't, compared to just getting an influx of $1,200. You know, a lot of people just see a bunch of money that they didn't have to work for, they got for free, and just go right into online shopping, going and get food, going and doing this and that, and just going and spending that money and putting it into the economy. So I think that's probably, to stimulate the economy, would probably be that, but to help working class and working people, I think they do need to do something for them. And a big point for him, and his last point, was getting people to work would give people sources of income. Obviously, if you're not working, you starting to work would bring in income and would bring in a source of income for you. And you can use that income to spend on things, pay your bills and buy food, do all that kind of stuff. But along with that, it would mean businesses would be open for people to spend money at again, which is a big thing too, getting the small businesses back open, back and running, and getting people in the door spending money and supporting these businesses and stuff like that. That's a big thing of getting people back to work that I don't think a lot of people realize, is getting these people back to work also reopens these businesses and gets them, you know, starting to get rolling again, get income, start getting back on track where they were before, and try and get through this and continue to be a business at the end of the day. So the big points from this is basically their big focus right now for plans of the future, assuming that things don't just get really good rapidly, is there's a big focus on tax breaks, that payroll tax of increasing, you know, an employee's check, you know, every week, 2 weeks, whatever, getting them a little bit more because the company's saving on taxes, as well as a possible more stimulus check to the people directly to stimulate the economy, to get them spending money, going out and just returning to normal life as we've all been just wanting to get back into, a lot of us. So, guys, that's basically what they're saying for that. You know, none of these are even bills. This is just from the economist from the White House, him kind of breaking down, making these points, and saying that they do have plans for the future, and this is what they include. And we'll see where they go from there. But it did seem very likely that another stimulus check would come, and that they would do something to kind of help businesses on the back end with tax holidays, which would in turn help the employees make a little bit more money every check. So, guys, let me know what you think about this. Do you think there's another stimulus check coming? And do you think that this payroll tax holiday would be a good idea or good incentive for businesses to get behind and maybe increase some workers' revenue a little bit? But guys, don't forget to smash that like button, smash the sub button. We are on the road to 1K subs, and we got something big planned for 1K. So when we get there, I will let you guys know what's going on. But I will see you guys in my next video.